Hello class, I got an excellent question in my email. It was asking what exactly the image size resample was doing, what that dropdown meant, what was happening there. Let me demonstrate real quick. I'm just going to make a new document, and for demonstrative purposes, we're going to do 1 inch by 1 inch at 100 pixels per inch. Now we can do the math on this. At 100 pixels per inch, we have 100 and 100 pixels, right? Because it's 1 inch by 1 inch. Just multiply the height, 1, by the resolution, 100. Boom, you've got it, because it's in inches. And I can prove that. We'll tell it OK. We'll go up to image size, and sure enough, we're at 100 pixels by 100 pixels. Because we're interpreting that at 100 pixels per inch, that means we have 1 inch and 1 inch. Let me uncheck resample for a moment. Notice that these three are connected. Width, height, and resolution. If we check resample, only width and height are connected. Resolution is disconnected from the other two settings. So real quick, what happens if we have resample on, ignoring what type it is, and we drop this down to 10 for pixels per inch? Well, at 10 pixels per inch, again, this is disconnected, we will have 1 inch worth of 10 pixels, which will be 10 pixels, and 1 inch width of 10 pixels, which will be 10 pixels. So if I tell it OK, sure enough, we have 10 pixels by 10 pixels. It's tiny. If I double click the hand tool, you'll see it blow up and it looks normal size, but we can see it's at 9,000% magnification. It is a minuscule little thing. This is the sort of thing you might use for like a copyright icon or something, just to toss in like a funky TM that's at an angle or some jazz like that. It's minuscule. Let me undo so that we go back to the original size. You see, we just simply step back in history so we don't have image size anymore. The image size transformation. So let's go to image size again. And now let's uncheck resample. Now notice again, these are all locked. Let's drop it down to 10 resolution, 10 pixels per inch. Well, what did that do? It kept the dimensions the same, 100 pixels by 100 pixels. So now, if we only have 10 pixels per inch, since we're not resampling, it's had to reinterpret how many inches it is. So in other words, without resample, we always maintain the same number of pixels. It's 100 by 100, but we will simply tell Photoshop to reinterpret how wide and tall this is. Let's go ahead and tell it OK. So, all right, what's the difference? Well, when I double click the hand tool, you can see that we go to 100. It doesn't look any different, right? So let's do this. Control R to bring up the rulers. And notice that we have indeed 10 inches. And before, let me undo the image size, we had but 1 inch. But we still have 100 pixels in here. And we know that for a fact. We can pull this flyout menu down at the bottom left, and it will say that the width is 100, 1 inch, 100, 1 inch for height. We resize it. We have height 110 inches and width 110 inches. So that's what's going on with that resample. Resample actually changes the number of pixels that you have. Without resample, it just changes how big it claims the file to be. So it will spread stuff out. So let me go back one more time and let's do the resample. Image size, resample, 10 inches. Tell it OK. 10 inches, sorry, 10 pixels. Now you'll see that we're at 1 inch and 1 inch, 10 pixels per inch. Now, why did I do that? Why did I shrink that down? We're just going to grab a red brush real quick. This brush is huge compared to that. Okay, look at that. It's so small. So here's the question. These are the actual pixels. So what if we did something like this? Control L. And like burn this out so that everything's like pretty colorful. We don't have a whole lot of transparencies. I'm gonna do that one more time. Let's even do this. Oops, wrong way. Nah, we'll leave it white. We'll leave it white. But we'll do that. Okay, so we have this almost fish-like shape, right? Just to dig that home. Oops. We will fill this with white. Oh. And look, we got a little fish. Okay, so we have a microscopic fish shape. For whatever reason we built this. Let's say that we want it to be larger though. Notice that I'm at 1,600% magnification. That's absolutely insane. So if I go to image size again, this time we're going to upsample to 100 pixels per inch with resample on. Wow, look how blurry that is. Well, let's take a look at what's going on. Oh, all of a sudden Photoshop has to reinterpret what this single square would look like if it was 10 times larger. And so it's doing the best it can. It figures that we want a gradation. So it's just kind of making a gradient as it goes out. Notice it's no longer a square shape. It tried to guess and it guessed a circle. Now, how's it doing that? Like what's it guessing here? Because none of these existed. I mean, look at the data that was here. It was nothing. It was just squares. Well, what if we wanted this to still kind of be squares? Well, the secret is in the image size, if I could get to it, there we go, image size resamples algorithm. We have a number of different algorithms available to us, and by default, it's on automatic. Now, you might think that that means it'll just pick one that it thinks is best, but it doesn't know what best is. What it really means is that it's going to pick between bicubic smoother for enlargement and bicubic sharper for reduction. So let's do bicubic smoother, and we should see the same effect as before. And I hit cancel and by accident. Let's do that one more time. Image size, not automatic, bicubic smoother, 10 to 100 instead. Okay. And double click the magnifying tool, double click the hand tool. Sure enough, same kind of blurriness. Let me undo that. Image, let's try another one. Adjustments. Why do I keep doing that? Image size, 100 pixels. And we're going to do preserve details. Tell it okay. Slightly different. In fact, it looks like the automatic in the new versions of Photoshop did try to preserve this, because this looks more like the original one on automatic. In old versions, it literally meant bicubic. It was picking one of the two bicubics. Apparently, in new versions, it is trying to decide on hard lines, which is beautiful, and I love that. But if you don't like what it did, you can keep playing with these different algorithms to find out which one works best for you. For example, you could do nearest neighbor, which should preserve hard edges much better. If I actually increase the size, image size, nearest neighbor, 100 pixels, tell it okay. See, now that is something that I'd be expecting for a pixel fish. So in my case, I didn't want it to use an automatic system where it was increasing the sizes. And in some cases, it'd be automatic bicubic. And what all those mean, you can actually look it up on the Wikipedia. It should have all of them still up there. They come and go and edit all the time. It's not it's Photoshop's implementation of it, but it is a specific kind of algorithm. I don't want to bore you guys with the math. I just wanted to show you that this is how it's done. So we did that with our nearest neighbor. Now, if we left it on automatic, what would happen if we went to Edit, Preferences, General? Oh, look at that. Image interpolation bicubic automatic. Now, in older versions of Photoshop, this is the default that is being used by the resize. Let's see if that's still true. I haven't tested this. Tell it okay. And now we're doing an experiment together. Image size automatic. Nope, it's still actually the bicubic. So what does that mean then? Well, I have an idea. Let's go ahead and do an image canvas size and do one other test. Now I'm going to make this canvas size 10 times the size. And I'm going to do a transformation on this original fish with a Control T. And would you look at that? My second guess was correct. On new versions of Photoshop, oh, my second guess was incorrect. I was assuming that it was referring to our transformation effect, but it was not. That's sad. So here's an interesting question. What does image preferences, general, image interpolation apply to in these days? And I'll look into that and get back to you, because I've just found a mystery for another day. In this case, in any older version of Photoshop, and I'm talking like pre-Creative Cloud, this should refer to actually CS4 was the last time I tested this. It will refer to what the default is for the image size. For now, I'm going to have to do some research because this is new and exciting to me because we just found something new. But while I investigate that, the rest still applies. Resolution is just a reference to, resample is just a reference to if the resolution is changing the size of the entire document by increasing the number of pixels. Without resample, it's just leaving the exact same number of pixels at all times and reinterpreting the width and height. And keep in mind, since they're locked, you can go the other direction with that and get going. One other heads up, I'm in inches right now. You can do percent, pixels, you can centimeters, millimeters, points, which is a reference to fonts, all kinds of stuff. In this case, most of the time, we're just going to be working in inches or pixels. Okay, so that's how image size works. I'll get back to you on the current state of edit preferences, general image interpolation, because now I'm super curious. But hey, I'm going to post this video, and maybe one of you guys will want to post to the forums and let me know if you found out before I did. Otherwise, I'll let you guys know when I have some time to look into it a little bit more. All right, have a good one.